Kody Brown did a non-TLC affiliated interview with two ex-Mormon men on a podcast YouTube channel called Mormon Discussions. It wasn't so much about sister wives, but it was more focused on Kody's family dynamics and religious journey. In my opinion, the interview was very interesting and eye-opening. We've heard from Kody's kids that producers of Sister Wives have an agenda and the show needs a villain. So watching this interview that was not brokered through TLC in any way, I was expecting to see a different side of Kody Brown. The interview is a little less than 2 hours long and it was a live interview, so there was no editing. My big takeaway is that the Kody Brown that we see on the show is very much the real deal Kody Brown. Let's break down this interview. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get into today's video. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. I don't know if we've seen Kody do an interview in recent years that wasn't through People magazine or some other source that was clearly brokered by TLC. I don't know how Mormon Discussions got the green light from Puddle Monkey for this interview, but good on them. I suspect that Kody threw his weight around since this guy Bill is a family friend. The interview has been out for a couple days now, and at the time that I'm recording this video, it has a little over 40,000 views, which is great. That's a popular video for sure. But Peyton's John Yates interview has over 400,000 views. If Kody's interview doesn't surpass Peyton's, you know that's going to bug the shit out of him. Kody doing an interview on a platform like Mormon Discussions was really interesting to me for a couple of reasons. One, it's not People magazine or some major news outlet. And two, Kody hasn't been active on social media since 2021. In fact, Peyton revealed in that viral John Yates interview that his dad actually tried to have production step in to prevent the kids from talking about him on their social media platforms. Production ended up being like, no, we are not going to mediate your family dysfunction. And Mykelti actually just revealed on her Patreon that her mom doesn't love that she and Gwen do these reaction videos, but at the end of the day, she supports her kids. I always got the feeling that the adults were super tied to the network contractually and that we would probably never see them speaking out on, for lack of a better word, an indie YouTube channel, but I stand corrected. I have a sneaking suspicion that Kody is testing the waters on new PR strategies. If you can't beat them, as in silencing them, join them. Right off the bat, I got the sense that Kody was a lot more comfortable talking to these guys than how we've seen him talk to the women tell-all hosts in the past. And I think that that has to do with the fact that these two hosts were men and they were Mormon. These two hosts are ex-Mormons. The one host, Bill Reel, is a family friend of Kody and actually worked with Mykelti as her supervisor at that pawn shop years ago. I left this interview feeling like I had a better grasp on the inner workings of Kody. So in that sense, I think it was a successful interview. There were times I felt sympathy for him. There were times I had to pause and rewind going, did he really say that? And there were times he annoyed the shit out of me by cutting off the hosts and talking over them. And we will talk about the hero that is caller number 2, if you know, you know, towards the end of this video. So both of the men that hosted this interview have left the Mormon religion. Neither one was fundamental or polygamous. Bill Reel, Kody's friend, founded this podcast network, and on the website wasmormon.org, he writes, I was a 17-year-old convert to the church, got married in the Washington, D.C. temple, served in leadership calling after leadership calling, and at 29 years old was called to serve as a bishop of a small Midwestern ward in Ohio. I have an amazing wife and 4 incredible children and the best friends on the planet. I founded a charity, Mormon Discussion Inc., and am the host of several podcasts operated within it. I will link the website in the description of this video if you want to read more about Bill's journey out of Mormonism. I am wondering if Kody is being mentored on deconstructing Mormonism within himself and his family. In my opinion, that would be an interesting journey to see him go on. It might cause him to gain a bit of his humanity back with viewers too. Will he recognize the trauma that he has inflicted on his family members? Will he take accountability for his actions? And how will he go about trying to put the pieces of his life back together? I'm not sure if he's capable of being earnest, but if he was, that would be fascinating to watch. So let's get into the interview. There seems to be two overarching themes throughout the interview that get touched on with the various questions, and that is family dynamics and Kody's faith crisis. I've seen some people say that they feel like the host lobbed softball questions at Kody, and I would have to respectfully disagree. Of course, the questions weren't cutthroat, and this wasn't any kind of gotcha journalism. And Kody wasn't combative, but I think that that's because the hosts were men and one's a friend. The Radio Free Mormon guy did not seem like he cared for Kody very much. And we did get that soundbite of Kody referring to Robin as a diesel jeans model. And you know what? I don't hate that for Robin. May all of our spouses be that captivated by our beauty. About his family dynamic, Kody said things like a therapist told him that his wives would be just as unhappy outside of plural marriage as they were currently inside of it. I guess as if to assuage him of any guilt he had about his wife's plight in their marriage. He also says that for years on the show, everyone's sins were cloaked in charity. When you're married and trying to make it work, you will cloak your spouse's sins in charity. Once relationships went sour, then I guess it was open season on trashing Kody. He also claims that his original 3 wives were bitter Bettys about Kody and Robin's honeymoon, even though those 3 got honeymoons of their own. And that really was the beginning of the wives being openly disparaging of Robin and comparing their marriages to Robin's. Of Robin, Kody says that she is absolutely the kindest woman. She's a little shy and she for sure has boundaries. Regarding his faith crisis, Kody had things to say like he has a friend that he was talking to, and he was talking about the disparity of fairness in plural marriage. And his friend said that there's no disparity in fairness as long as there's no disparity in choice. But I would ask, what about disparity in treatment? There was a huge disparity in treatment between Kody's wives, and that was the issue. Nobody was claiming that they didn't have a choice. Someone asked Kody what constitutes a successful polygamist, and Kody said, well, even though people were unhappy, his dad died with 3 wives. And Kody holds up Robin as an example of him being successful because she came into the family as this hot diesel jeans model with lots of offers from other men in their church, and she chose their family because Kody was such a good polygamist. Kody also says that choice is a big deal to him now because he feels like he lacked the ability to make choices in his younger years. He says all is well that ends well. Of his church, he says that pressure from the culture doesn't seem very redeeming, and he actually dropped the C word, cult, more than once when talking about his church. At the end of the interview, they took 3 phone calls from listeners. Callers 1 and 3 were just blowing smoke up Kody's ass, but caller number two was doing the Lord's work.
I was just wondering, you explained in the last episode how you thought a wife was disloyal if she kept her from her husband, but Robin does the same thing from her first husband. How do you explain that difference?
Robin never did that. He had access to them all the time.
Her husband, he's dying of cancer. Do her kids know that?
Her kids have chosen. Well, let's go this direction. This is one I'm going to have to pass on, guys, because this is about somebody else and somebody else's life. I'm not interested in answering that question. Thank you.
No worries. I'll drop the call.
I don't know if I would have had the lady balls to do this, so I must applaud this caller. Just brava, chef's kiss. Kody was rattled as fuck by these questions, and now we know that he knows that we know how hypocritical he came off when the only parent that has separated a child from the other parent is Robin. If I could ask Kody a question, it would be that based off of the religious convictions that you hold now, do you have guilt or regret regarding the captivity some of your wives existed in for many years? I will link Kody's interview with Mormon Discussions down in the description of this video. And as always, be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to check out my second channel, Sarah Spills. A link for that will be in the description of this video. Follow me on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter at Reality Squad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.